Hello and welcome to another live stream of FPL Happy Hour with myself, FPL Two Guys One Cup on Twitter. Sham, I forgot my name.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
Yeah, I forgot that
You,
otherwise
you
known as.
completely like just did me there because you normally go Sham, otherwise known as,
Yeah.
rather than otherwise known as, and then Sham.
How are you, my friend?
All good. Recovered after what was a really underwhelming game week last week,
Yeah.
or blank game week, should we say? Um, yeah, it was. I think for everyone um, that plays the game, like everyone would have been affected by uh, the postponement of United v Liverpool. I mean, as a United fan, I'm disappointed by the um, postponement as a fantasy manager, but as a United fan, um, it might make the Glazers listen. It might not. There was a on Sky News, I think it was. They managed to get uh, I think it was Avram Glazer, as he was leaving his house, walking to his car.
Just just to stop you there, I've just realised I've got BT Sports in the background, in my little TV in the background. Are they going to stop the stream because of that? Should I switch the TV off?
uh,
Because
Maybe
copyright is bullshit. Hold on, let me just switch. I'm just going to switch my TV off just in case.
just in
1 second.
case.
Just in case.
Um, I'll just keep talking. You might not be able to hear me though. Yeah. So yeah, just
I'm back.
I think it was the fact he couldn't say anything. Like you must have something to say on it rather than this like letter that they put out last week with like just very PR, like written by someone in marketing and like just sign and print. Well, probably a printed signature at the bottom. It's just it's a load of rubbish. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the same scenes on next Thursday evening.
You think so?
Um, well, they'd already organised another protest for the 16th because that's
Hmm.
when everyone thought that the United Liverpool game is going to get moved to. And we're not talking about like people travelling from all over. These are people like that live close by. They don't have to plan weeks in advance or
Hmm.
days in advance. And yeah, they'll turn up en masse again. There'll probably be more of them. I can't see there being the same trouble. But yeah, uh, I I would wouldn't be surprised if it was announced at the last minute. It's at a neutral venue. Like I just wouldn't be surprised if it was announced that it's at Goodison Park or like somewhere else,
Well,
like
we
somewhere
shall see.
somewhere close. Because yeah, it's just like it could have it could be like math if they got another if it's another postponement. That's it. Yeah, when are you going to play the game?
Yeah, fuck knows. Anyway, back to FPL.
Yeah. So, we've got drinks tonight.
We have got drinks. We
I
have got
always have
drinks.
drinks. You've got a drink.
Yeah, I've got a drink. I've got a drink.
Well,
Cheers. Cider,
you've got a cider,
fruity blackcurrant cider,
and I've got,
Lidl version.
especially for you, a jammy beer.
Oh, I'm not fucking jammy. You can't fucking say that. That was jammy. Not gonna lie. Right. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, yeah, jam donut pale ale,
Oh, nice. Although I hate
fruity,
beer, but I would try it. Yeah, I'll
fruity.
try it.
Well, you like your fruity cider, so you'd
I
probably
do
like
like my
this.
fruity cider. Right. So for tonight, we are going to talk about how we did last week, and then we have a massive triple game week coming up, which caught us all by surprise, really. So we're going to try and work out the best players, how many United we're gonna need, how many we should get, what the double game week's going to look like, and then talk about how we think is best to navigate it. Not that we have a clue, basically, because we don't really know how we're going to navigate it. Well, I certainly don't know how I'm going to
I
navigate it.
kind of know now. I've sat down this evening with like the United game on in the background because it wasn't a game that I was particularly interested in watching. Kind of just had it
Yeah,
on. Like I knew that like whatever the result, pretty much we were going to be in the final. So yeah, I've sat there and like just been planning away. I think my most important part of tonight's like games was seeing who started in goal for Arsenal.
who
That was
was it?
the
Leno, right?
It was Leno, but that, I
Yeah.
mean we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, that was like the only thing I was interested in the Europa League games tonight. Um, yeah, so yeah, I mean the guys that are watching, if you're as we're talking, drop some questions in. We'll try and like answer them as we go, because those questions might relate to what we're talking about now or later on. So yeah, make sure you pop them in, and we'll try our best to answer them. There's no
As
guarantee.
best as we can. I'm
There's
not
no.
going to say we'll answer them very well, but we'll answer them as best as we
Yeah, I
can.
think yeah, like the whole triple game week, it's just caught everyone out. So yeah, it's and it's something that you don't know how to deal with, because yeah, you don't know. There's so many anomalies that could go on in that triple game week. I think we're quite lucky that the hardest fixture for Man United is the last one, against Liverpool. But yeah, we'll come to that when we come to it.
Right, should we look at last week?
Do we have to?
So we didn't have a normally we don't look at last week because we normally cover this on our podcast, but due to work and family commitments, we weren't able to pod this week. It's the first time actually ever
Yeah.
that we've missed a game week, but we're making up with that with a live stream tonight. So let's quickly talk about how we did last week. Um, that's yours first. Go for it.
There's not much
I
to
mean, it's not going
say.
to take you long. I know
No.
there's not much to say.
Um, yeah, I got lucky with Leno not playing and Sanchez keeping a clean sheet. Otherwise, it would have been a real disaster. Ian Atro assist. But other than that, it was that's about it. Um,
Well, should we just move over to my transfer of the season?
but I got I mean I managed to stay in the top 100k. I took a drop from like 72k to 97k or 98k. So I'm still in the top 100k. That was like the big fear was like, oh, I've spent all that time getting into the 100k and then getting myself down to 70k, and then yeah, to see like my game week live rank going over 100k, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But then when it sat at just inside, it was kind of like, okay, let's let's just crack on and um, yeah, we go again next week. Let's have a look at your team then.
So we've got two things to celebrate. Well, I've got two things to celebrate this week. The first thing is I made the transfer of the fucking season and I took out Jota and I brought in Bale for a massive, was it 21 points he
Yeah,
got? Yeah, 21 points.
I mean, you should
Um,
have captained him, to be honest.
yeah,
It would
well,
have been better that much if you captained
yeah,
him. It would have been better.
it would have been much better. But I'm not gonna lie, excuse me, I was pissed off that I that happened and Sun delivered. Because if Sun didn't deliver, that would have been a huge rank jump for me. But because Sun delivered, I only went from 85k to 78k. I can't complain because it's a green arrow and that's all good. But it was a bit disappointing that it wasn't as good as it could have been. And then the second thing to celebrate is that I have now overtaken you, Rob, for the first time this season, and I am 7 points ahead of you. So yes, is it 7 or is it 11? I can't even. I don't even know how much it is.
I don't know, but whatever it was, Bruno would have done it. That's what Bruno would
Um,
have scored on
um,
Sunday.
So I'm well pleased with that. 1.4 million some 12 or so game weeks ago, something like that. I think it was game week 18. So yeah, really, really pleased. And I still think, and it's a very, very tough ask, but I still think 10k is on the cards if this week goes good. If it goes shit, then no, it's completely off the
Well,
cards. But
I think this week for you isn't the important one. I think it's next week.
yeah, because I've got 6 players at the moment.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you've got to work something out that gets you somewhere with a decent amount of players. Like
If
you
I'm
kind of
within
want
30k, if I'm in the top 30k by the end of game week 36, I can get to top 10k by the end of game week 38. That's my target. I want to
yeah,
be
I
with it.
reckon I reckon you could if yeah. I think yeah, the next 2 game weeks for you are like
Huge.
you've got to be getting green arrows. And it's same for
Yeah.
me. Like we'll talk about our plans like later on, but yeah, I'm for me like the next 2 game weeks are just massive. Like I know that I can get 11 out in both well 10, 10 doubles and Kane in the next in this game week, and then I can get 11 out in the following game week. And yeah, it's just doing that. I think will be enough to uh, yeah potentially push me right up the rankings. But we shall see.
Yeah, 43 points I ended with. So yeah, not too bad. Right, okay. What do we want to talk about this triple game week?
Yes.
Do we want to do the 5v5 first, or do we want to talk about this triple game week first?
Let's just do a little, just touch on it a little bit. I think because personally, and I think this has generally been echoed around the community on Twitter now. Um, the yeah, I don't think you should be piling into United assets. The blank in 36 is a big problem. I mean, if you were free hitting this week, perfect. I know there's a few people with free hits out there still kicking about. If you're free hitting, yeah, go for it. Maybe like Henderson, I've one of the fullbacks, probably AWB's more like least likely to be rotated with Brandon Williams, and then Bruno, because I think Bruno will feature in all 3 games. He'll probably start all 3 games, to be fair. The guy's just a workhorse. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't be going and if you've got 2, I wouldn't be buying a third. Um,
So if you don't have Bruno like me, so I don't have Bruno, okay, so would you be breaking up your team to bring in Bruno? So if I brought in Bruno, I would need to lose Kane or Vardy to bring in Bruno. And it would probably be a -8, potentially 12.
well, you wouldn't bring
And
out
next week,
it wouldn't be Kane because of the like you have to. He's a 36 player, so you wouldn't
yeah.
you
So, but that's the only way that I can do
the
it
only like
with Kane or Vardy.
the way I've looked at it, and like we will discuss it later. Is yeah, if you're going to be moving anyone out this week, it has to be a player that blanks in 36, like within reason. Because my move isn't moving out someone that blanks in 36. Um, but yeah, and then so yeah, if you wanted to bring out Vardy, and then but I'm guessing you'd have to massively like downgrade on him to then bring in
Well,
Bruno.
so I can do Bale to Zaha and sorry, not Bale to Zaha, Bale to Bruno and Vardy to DCL.
I like that. I'd do that. I don't even know why you're asking.
Really?
I like that. DCL's fixtures this week. he's got West Ham
What,
away,
losing
Villa away.
Vardy though?
Then he's got
Losing
Sheffield
Vardy though.
United. Yeah, but Vardy. So he's got Newcastle at home, and I mean, so that United triple now. Something that I'd spotted yesterday, and others have started to spot it. So United have been playing like Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday. Like that's how their training regime's been. I can see the strongest side being put out against Villa on Sunday and against Liverpool on Thursday, and then Tuesday night's game against Leicester. I think Leicester will win because they'll have their strongest side out. Um, yeah, I think Leicester will win, and yeah, you could say Vardy would potentially return, but I mean, you don't know. Solskjaer, like, he doesn't rotate. Like, if we look in Europe all season, even once it went into the Europa League, um, and like the Europa League hasn't been important to us, but he was playing the strongest side he could. Like, I'm just not sure how much he will rotate. Um, But if they rotate in any game, it's going to be that Leicester one.
We've got a question by Paolo in the chat. He says, I've got 9 double game weekers at 35 and 5 blanks at 36. So 5 blanks. So it depends. Is that 6 or is that 10? That's a key question there. So how many starters would you have for 36? I've got no United assets. Do you think I keep planning for 36 and get out blankers, or go to Greenwood or United defender? It's hard to bring in Bruno. I'm 478th in the world. Wow, well done, mate. And trying to finish in the top 100. Wow, that's a tough dilemma, isn't it?
What can you tell us the answer to that?
Yeah, you should be answering the question with 478. Or or I can do Kane and Jota to DCL and Bruno. That's not bad. That's similar to what you were saying, right? Like in terms of for me.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm assuming like at that rank as well, um, something like moving Kane out. Yeah, it's high risk, but that could be the sort of thing that, like, if it pays off, that moves you into the top 100.
Well, I disagree with moving Kane out moves you to top 100. I think not bringing in Bruno and bringing in Greenwood and captaining Greenwood would bring you into the top 100 if Bruno doesn't deliver. That's something that can fly you up.
Hmm.
Because if I don't bring in Bruno, I'm going to be captaining Greenwood.
The problem with Greenwood is that is a problem with. So I think the problem positions for rotation at United is Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani, Pogba, maybe Luke Shaw. They're the ones that we generally now see as the starters that I don't think that will start one or two of the three.
Mm-hmm.
But then the likes of Bruno, Maguire, um, Henderson, and Wan-Bissaka probably highly likely to start all three. Um, just because of, like, with Bruno, yeah, he's a midfielder, but it's the way that he plays. He seems to just get more energy from playing more. Wan-Bissaka, the only replacement is Brandon Williams. Maguire has played. He's missed one game in the last 2 seasons. Um, yeah, one game. Yeah, I think that was in the Europa League. Yeah, it was the Europa League where we'd already qualified. Oh no, it was when he was suspended in Europa League. Um, and yeah, Henderson, I think, is pretty much nailed. Um, like, we've seen a few people joke about, yeah, captaining Henderson. I can think of worse captains, to be fair.
What
um,
about captaining Maguire? I'd thought about that.
Potentially, I think like between him and Henderson, you'd probably say could score, like have similar ceilings between the two of them. But Maguire, you've got that added option that he might get like his one goal of the season um, as well. Um, I mean, to be fair though, I think there's still a lot better captains out there. Bruno, um, DCL are two that like straight away just hit out. Salah is another one. Um, I, yeah, people have been very focused on the treble game week and forgotten about some of the other really good double game weeks. Because I mean, Salah's. I mean, yeah, they've got the United fixture, but the Southampton fixture is excellent for them.
Mm.
So you can't really forget about him either.
So I guess going back to Paolo's question, so he can do. He says he can do Greenwood for Jota or Lingard, but Greenwood played today, and he's not sure how much he will play in the triple. Um, or he can do the other move, which is Kane and Jota out to DCL and Bruno. Which one do you think's better?
I like the Kane Jota to DCL Bruno.
The thing is, that's basically protecting rank, isn't it, for him in his position? Um,
I,
by bringing in
well,
Bruno, you're kind of protecting.
yeah, but the DCL one, I think that's your because not many people will be going Kane to DCL this week, and not many people maybe like not many people so will have like the funds to be able to do someone else to
Mm.
DCL. Um, so yeah, like I think there'll be a few that go Kane to DCL. Um,
DCL's fairly highly owned. It's 30%.
it's 30% now.
Yeah, 29.
Um, yeah, so well, a few people might have gone like Watkins to DCL.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a tricky one, but yeah, I prefer the Kane and Jota to DCL Bruno. The only thing with Jota, like the run in for Liverpool, is just
So good.
yeah. Um, but I
But
mean,
I think
you could
Phillips could
always go
outscore.
you could
Phillips
always
could outscore Jota.
go Bruno back to Jota next week in 36 in the blank if you wanted to.
Mm, mm.
Because yeah, I mean, yeah, that run in for Liverpool, like the double, then West Brom away, Burnley away, Palace at home. It's like, could you have asked for 3 or 5 or 4 out of 5 better fixtures for them to finish the season on,
Mm.
chasing a Champions League spot?
Yeah,
I don't think you could. Um,
yeah,
I'd,
agreed.
I'd I'd make them huge favourites to be finishing in the top 4.
So your optimal three United players are who? So if you're on a free hit,
If I was on a free hit, Bruno, AWB, Henderson,
nice. Okay.
I think. I've
Whereas
yeah,
mine would be Bruno, Greenwood, Maguire.
only because I think that with those three, you're starting at 18 points with the three of them.
Yeah, together. Yeah.
Like I think that's your minimum from the three of them. Whilst Greenwood, I think you might be starting with 16 points if he
How
was
did he
one of
play
the three.
tonight? Anyway, I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it properly. I was too
Okay.
busy trying to work out
Plan.
what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
38 is just before the final of the Europa League. Again, I can only see a little bit of rotation. Like I said earlier, United, um, Solskjaer just doesn't do the full Pep roulette. He just does like little bits of rotation here and there. Like players like Matic will play instead of Fred and things like that. You'll have Bailly instead of Lindelof, Tellez instead of Shaw, maybe. Um, I can't see like huge amounts of rotation because they'll be using that Wolves fixture as kind of a final preparation for the Europa League final.
Paolo's always also asked, "What's your captain pick outside of United? Is it Salah?" So for me, it's Zaha, if fit.
Me as
If
Salah.
fit, Zaha. For you, it's Salah, yeah.
Yeah, I think my plan, like,
Or Greenwood. I might go Greenwood as well.
yeah,
Well, it's outside of United, so Zaha, I would say.
the way that this week's gone, I've gone been. It was either going to be because we were expecting United to still have their double, and then but uh, we thought that Liverpool would slot into 36, and then Liverpool would have the double of Southampton and West Brom. And if Liverpool had that double, then it would have been captain Salah. But if Liverpool doubled in 36, I would have captain Bruno. But now it's the
Mm.
treble. I think, yeah, for me it's Bruno, Salah. I prefer DCL over Zaha, just because it's Palace. It's like the most unreliable. Um,
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
yeah, you're pinning a big gamble on Roy's boys.
but then it is against Sheffield United and Southampton.
It is against
Shit
Sheffield,
defenses.
but it's Palace.
Yeah, no, I know. You're right. You're right.
um,
You're right.
I mean, we play the fixtures, but yeah, it's also like if Zaha was playing for probably 10 different teams other than Palace, in with that combination of fixtures, I'd be like, yeah, captain him. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
get you.
I think Palace is yeah, I just prefer DCL over Zaha. Um,
Right. Shall we do our 5v5 then, Rob?
yeah, let's get it done,
So
and then that can lead
for
us into
for
what we
anyone
think.
that's new to the chat, myself and Rob, we do a 5v5 every week. I pick 5 players, and Rob's planner picks 5 players, and basically it's one from a maximum of one from each team. One pick must be under 30, under 20%, one under 10, one under 5, and two can be any percentage. And it's like a draft style format, so we pick one at a time. So I smashed you again last week. So my one player outscored your whole team. So my one player that I chose was Bale, and he outscored all 5 of your players together combined. So I now lead 9-7 over the course of the season.
Nice.
So let's toss this coin. Heads or tails?
Tails.
It is tails.
Bruno.
Yeah, obviously.
Projected 15.4 points, 56%
Wow.
ownership, and then he's got the triple game week fixtures.
Wow.
15.
Okay, I will go with Salah.
So he's actually the second highest projection at
Is he?
13.3 for this game week. There's some monster projections out there this week. You'll be surprised at the goalkeeper though.
Really?
So you've had Salah, 10.9, 10.9. Sadio Mane,
Yeah, do you know
10.9.
what? I fancy him this week.
That's a little differential. If you don't want to go,
Yeah, I do fancy him this week.
if you need like a couple of million and fancy going Mane instead of Salah to then be able to get Bruno in, then yeah, I'd I'd happily do that.
Uh,
Or a couple of million, a million. It's only a million less.
I'll go with Vardy.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 9.2 projected points, 27.1% owned. Then his double against West Ham and Villa.
What's Mane's ownership?
Mane, 5.5.
Oh, that's a good pick. I should have done Mane. I'm just checking. What is Greenwood's ownership?
Greenwood is 6%.
Oh wait, because you can't pick him anyway. Defender. Do I go Greenwood or Maguire? What's Maguire's ownership?
Maguire's 5.7. So they're the same.
Alright, I'm just gonna have a look who else has got double this week. Alright, let's go with Sigurdsson.
Sigurdsson. So he's projected at 7.9 points, 2.4% ownership. So a proper differential that.
Who did you go for before? Just before I went Sigurdsson? DCL, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the highest projection for a goalkeeper at 8.2 points,
Must be Gaita.
2.9% ownership.
Gaita.
Vitor Guaita, yes.
Yeah, that was my pick. Fuck's sake. Prick. That was going to be my pick.
That your under 5% pick?
No. I've already got under 5% in Sigurdsson.
Oh, yeah.
But I should have gone him now because you couldn't pick an Everton and you couldn't pick a United. Anyway, okay. I was stupid. Why did I do that? Okay. Let's go with Maguire.
Yeah, I'd have actually, if you didn't pick Guaita, I'd have ended up with Areola.
Really?
Because he's the next highest that's under 5%, apart from De Gea. Oh no, De Gea I couldn't have anyway, even if I wanted to.
All right, it's your pick.
So I just need a defender that's under 20. Defender under. Go. Sorry.
Bless you, mate.
Defender under 20 that doesn't play for Liverpool, Man United, or Everton, or who else can't he play for?
United, Liverpool, Everton, Palace.
Oh, I don't like this. 6.4 projected points, 3.8% owned. Hector Bellerin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Does
Oh,
he
I can't
actually
even go.
start? Does he start for Arsenal? Did he play
He
tonight?
started tonight. He played
Oh,
tonight.
so yeah, he must be a starter.
I don't even know who to pick. The only person that I can think of is Mendy. Martinez is over the threshold. The percentage. He must be over. Yeah. What's his percentage?
What percentage do you need? Martinez is 40.3.
Yeah, he's well over. Oh man,
So
why didn't
owned
I
by
go Gaita?
just under half the game.
I can't even go Forster because he might not play. I know he said that they was going to play the next two, but we don't know. All right, I'm just going to go with it. Mendy.
Mendy, 10.3% owned.
We don't like my team.
3.1
Right.
points projected from their double.
Yeah, I know.
He could
Right.
potentially he might break zero.
Might break zero. Prick. Right. Your team is Gaita, Bellerin, Mane, Bruno, DCL. And my team is Mendy, Maguire, Sigurdsson, Salah, and Vardy. Right. I'm leading 9-7 in the series. Let's see what happens this week.
Let's see what happens. Right.
Right. Do you want to go through what you're thinking to do with your team?
Yeah. So at the moment, this is how my team is set up as a bus team. But my current move, or thoughts on a move are to ship out Masuaku this week and bring in Phillips.
So just some news on Masuaku. He's unlikely to feature for at least the next few games.
Well, there's only a
He's
few.
still injured
It's
for a
only
while.
a few games left.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I don't think he'll be back before 38.
so yeah,
So right time to move him on.
yeah. My plan is Masuaku to Phillips, and in that case, I will bench Lingard. So this would be how my team is, but Lingard will be benched. Phillips will start. So it'd be a 4-4-2.
Okay.
And then that means that it gives me 10 double game week players. I mean, I think the only thing that was stopping me from making that move before tonight was I wanted to see if Leno started. Because if Leno didn't start, I may have brought in Henderson for Leno. But yeah, I've kept Leno because I think that because he started tonight, he'll start. He's still going to be starting as a keeper for Arsenal. So I'll make that move this week, carry over one of my free transfers. Then next week I'll take a -4, and this is depending on price changes. At the moment, be Castagna, Madison, Iheanacho to Reguilon, Sigurdsson, and DCL. Now, if there's a price rise in there, then Reguilon will be Aurier instead, and that will give me 11 for blank game week 36. And I shouldn't need to make a transfer in 37, so I'd have 2 free transfers going into the final game week of the season as well, which I really like having that because you can use your transfers for either to go like full gamble on a couple of massive differentials to try and really push you up there, or you can try and just consolidate. It gives you that option to push or not. Although 37, I have got a cup final in my mini league, which I want to win. So that could change depending on what my opponent is doing that week. But yeah, I think that's my plan.
Okay.
It sounds like it didn't take that long to think about, but yeah, I had to. My
It's not bad.
yeah, I had
I
I
don't
had
mind that. That's good.
like yeah, it was. I think it was very hard not to pull the trigger and just do Leno to Henderson anyway. But I felt I didn't need to take a hit this week. Didn't need to use both my transfers this week because it would mean I'd end up having to use more hits next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, rather than do a needless transfer, I can go into next week with a -4 and having 11 players, um, which I'm really happy. I'm happy to do that because it's only a -2 really. So yeah, what is your plan?
Oh man, it could go anyway, to be honest with you. I don't really know. Um, so I can do. So the thing is, I'm not sure because David Luiz is back apparently, but he wasn't ready for tonight. So he could easily play for the next couple of games instead of Holding. So don't know. Obviously, Holding did play tonight, but I don't know whether or not to take out Holding. So I can do Bale to Zaha, and this is obviously dependent on the fitness of Zaha. Bale to Zaha and Holding to Maguire, which will leave me 6 for next week. Um, or I can do Kane and Bale for Bruno and DCL, which will leave me 5 for next week.
I don't think you should do either.
Really?
I
And then what
don't.
do you think I should do then?
Um,
Well, either way, at the moment, I've got 6 for next week on this. So we'll go on the basis that Masuaku won't play because he's not playing. So Rafinha, Kane, Salah, Bale, Lingard, TAA. That's it. 6.
I think you do need like if you're gonna ship Holding out, it needs to be for someone that um, a player that's doubling and playing in
Yeah. So
36.
the other option is I could take a -8, right, and do Rudiger out for Phillips.
So I don't
So I
know
could
what.
do Maguire, Phillips, and Zaha in. Bale, Rudiger holding out from -8.
That leaves you with 7.
7 for next week. That's from -8.
I just don't think. I think I'm not sure
I feel really
Maguire's.
uncomfortable with. I feel really uncomfortable with one Man United player.
I mean, I've been telling you for weeks that United are a good side. You haven't been listening to me. I'm sitting there with Bruno and Shaw, and I'm happy right now. Um,
Well,
as
you
it,
weren't happy the weekend just gone, were you?
no, um, don't because I'd been saying last week. It was almost right up to deadline. Like, I'm selling Bruno. I'm selling Bruno. No, I'm not selling Bruno. No,
Yeah.
I'm not selling. I didn't know what to do, so I just stuck and just by it's all like by fluke. I've come out with a triple game week, but I haven't gained anything from it. I knew he was going to have. I knew he had 5 fixtures left, but I didn't realise that 3 of those 5 are going to be in the same week. I'm actually probably losing out. I am losing out because he's not going to play 90 in all 3. Um, but yeah,
We've got a question from Bennett. Do we need 3 United players? No, but what are you looking like for 36? So it's good to have 3 United players, but I wouldn't say you need 3 United players. I feel like I need 2. That's how I feel. I feel one is just not enough, is my opinion. I think 2 feels comfortable.
hmm.
2 feels comfortable.
Yeah, Paolo said he's probably going to be going with 0 United.
Oh man, that's ballsy.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially where you're ranked at 480.
just before that, he said, "Can't you bring in Dino? Um, can you get how much you got in the bank?
Nothing.
Oh, so you can't do. Um,
I've got 0.01 in the bank.
fuck knows.
That's what I mean. Like I'm looking at my team
Holding
going, what the fuck do I do?
holding to Mitchell. Is Mitchell still starting for Palace? I think
Well,
he
we
is.
don't know. Well, no, he started last week, but
Oh, he started
Van
against
Aanholt
City. Yeah,
started before.
but he's been injured, didn't he, for most seasons? Like if Mitchell starts, then
But how do we know that? We don't know that Mitchell's going to start. Van Aanholt could easily start.
who else is there? Who is there like underneath Holding that is a
Yeah,
starter?
but why can't Phillips?
Well,
I prefer Phillips out of the lot,
yeah. So just do Holding to Phillips then.
right? But that doesn't sort my United problem out.
I think that you've like the. I think the train has left the station.
What, I should just go with one?
I think you should just go with one. And I'd captain Salah instead of Greenwood.
No, I feel like I need to attack it and then deal with next week when I deal with next week.
I think
I feel like triple game weeks don't come along that often, and
you're gonna
the way
lose.
that I play, I attack it.
I think you're gonna lose more by not having enough players next week. I think you'll struggle with not having the.
I'll just take some hits. Just take a -8 and get 3 players. Get to 9.
I think even then you're going to struggle.
With 9,
So there's a lot of
if I get
people.
a
I've
grey
seen
arrow,
a
I
lot
don't
of
mind that.
people that are going next week, going into next week minimum 10, and all of them being outfield players. So the only player they haven't got playing is the keeper.
Yeah, that'll be me. I won't have a goalkeeper next week.
So you go to take a -8 and you can get to 9.
Yeah.
But if you say took out,
No, I can take a -8 this week, and next week I can take a I can yeah, so I can take a -8 this week, and I'll be with 7. So then I can take a -4 next week and get to 9, or a -8 and get to 10.
so how about Holding and Rudiger to Phillips and I'm just trying to think now.
But I want Zaha if he's fit. If Zaha is declared fit, I will bring him in and captain him.
I think you had to get rid of. If you're doing that, you have to get rid of Lingard then.
Bale.
Okay, so you're getting rid of Bale. So let's go. Bale to Zaha, Holding
Yeah.
to Phillips.
Phillips. Rudiger to Maguire.
No,
Why?
I think you should be doing Rudiger to someone that plays in 36 and doubles in 35.
So I could do Dean. I think I'll have enough money to do
So
Dean
do
with
yeah,
that.
Luca Dean then. Like if you can do that, I think.
But then I'll still only have one United and I'm taking a -8. So what's the fucking point? The whole point, I don't mind taking a -8 if I'm getting United.
But you're making the gains next week.
Yeah, I deal with next week when I get to next week.
Oh, and you made a huge gain last week. That's what you got to weigh it up against. Like you made a huge gain last week, and then so you want to kind of try and consolidate that whilst also making another gain, and you're not going to do that because you by starting yourself off next week 8 or 12 points behind everyone else.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I,
I'll
I,
have
I
to have a
just
think about it
I
tomorrow.
think, and especially when I say that yeah, Maguire starts all three. Fuck knows what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching team are thinking at the moment. Like we see this once. Oh, the last time this happened in the Premier League, there was a triple game week. Was 2007, and only one player played all three fixtures,
Was that the keeper?
and that was the keeper for Middlesbrough.
Glasto's asking, is Greenwood going to play all 3 games? I hope so. I have him. And question mark Shaw or Shaw question mark.
I don't think he. I think Greenwood could feature in all three, but I don't think like I'd say the maximum like from Greenwood, probably Luke Shaw as well. The maximum you're going to see from them is like 150 minutes from the 3 games. Like maybe 90 and that. Like the Liverpool one is the one where you're going to see everyone for almost the whole game. Villa,
I don't know. I just
Villa,
feel
there'll
like
be like there'll be a case of right, let's go out, try and get this game wrapped up, and then give players rest. The less the game, I think there'll be full rotation, like to an extent. Um, Yeah, I think yeah, the Leicester game you'll see. Uh, you could potentially see De Gea in goal, but I think it will be Henderson. You'll see Bailly and Maguire maybe, or it could be Swansea, AWB and Tellez, and then midfield Matic, um, Matic and McTominay, or well, Matic and McTominay or Fred. Then Dan James and um, oh, what's his name? The new kid that he started.
Diallo,
Yeah,
Diallo.
Diallo. Yeah, they could both start. Um, Bruno will probably start. Bruno will probably be the captain. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the captain on Tuesday night against Leicester.
I don't know. I just feel, you know what my playstyle's like. I'm a maverick. I'll, fucking go for it. And I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
feel like we've got a triple game week and it comes once every like 15 years. I should just like take advantage for it and just go for it. And if I'm fucked next week, then I'm fucked next week. When I get to next week, I deal with next week. You know what I mean? Like,
I just know we're going to be
but
having. You're going to have the same
Glasgow's saying in the chat.
conversation
I know.
next week.
Glasgow's saying in the chat, Panda is right. Have to look at 36 and 35 together. Bennett saying, is getting Bruno essential for this week? I don't know about essential. I don't think I'm going to be getting Bruno.
I
I'm
think
going to be rolling without.
if you can do it easily and it doesn't fuck you over next week, then it's yeah, do it. But means taking, if it means that you're going to end up taking like a -8 next week, um, to move other people around to get your team how you want, next to get like a 10 out next week, then I wouldn't do it.
So, if we look on the math side of things, right? So if I take out a -8, if I do a -8 and bring in Zaha and Maguire and Phillips, right? What's the upside on that? What's the kind of maximum upside? So the maximum upside is realistic, right? So Maguire, let's say 20 points, 3 clean sheets he plays. Yeah, I'm talking maximum here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Zaha, realistic maximum a goal a game.
yeah,
Yeah. So what's that, including bonus? Say 14 points,
yeah.
15 points, right? So 15 points, that's 35.
It's when he scored.
Phillips,
Yeah.
Phillips, upside, 2 clean sheets. That's maximum. Yeah, 12 points. So we've got 35 and 12, so 47, and I'm taking a -8. Okay, so 40 points is my upside.
Hmm.
That's kind of like the maximum. What's my maximum in 36 losing, basically having what would be 2 players less?
Yeah, but it depends who the players that you'd have
Okay,
instead.
forget any players. Okay, whichever players. You choose the players. Am I going to make up 40 points from 2 players? Realistically,
No.
no. So then surely, based on that logic, it's worth it to go for it.
Hmm. But it's
No?
like, but you're talking about,
And
yeah,
then we look at
maximums,
them. Okay, so now let's look at
the
the kind
minimums.
of, not necessarily minimum, but kind of middle ground. Okay, so Maguire, he plays 2 games and he gets 1 clean sheet and appearance points in the others. Okay, 8 points. Okay, Zaha, 2 blanks. One of them's a clean sheet, 5 points. That's 13 points. And then Phillips, 1 clean sheet, and the other one he plays, but no clean sheets. That's 8 points. So you've got 21 points. Again, if we look at the minimum from the other one with 2 players, am I going to get, so Kane and Bale, who are the players that, oh, so no, Bale, who would I be taking out? I'd be taking out Bale, Holding, and Rudiger. Okay, so from two of those
Bale's
players
probably
that
not the
play.
best person to use in his example when he's just scored 21 points.
Let's take a middle ground. Let's take a
Yeah.
middle ground. A goal, okay, 7 points. For me, it's like there's so much more upside on this one that compared to next week, I'm not going to be losing as much.
I can see where you're coming from. I just don't. I don't like it. I, I,
Fair
I,
enough.
th- I think having more players means there's more potential for that upside than having less players and not like because then you're reducing your chances of that
No, that
upside.
makes sense. That
Like
makes sense.
I think yeah, by having more players, you're increasing your chances. But
Yeah,
it's,
that
yeah,
makes
it's a
sense.
fine. I mean, both ways of looking at it. Neither are the wrong way, are they? It's just
No,
two different points of view to it.
yeah, it's just I'm right and you're wrong. Right. Um, let's go on to the fixtures then, Rob. We'll wrap up shortly. Um, so Glasser says, think the focus should be doublers who play in 36, effectively a triple with much more chance. Yeah, that's a fair point. I get that. I get that. Um, right.
There's some
Don't
cracking.
want to go for a predictions because this is just going to take
I
forever
mean,
with this double game week. But is there any kind of standouts here that you want to talk
I
about?
think there's some great games in this week. Like it's a long list.
Sheffield United Palace. It's a cracking game.
Leeds Leeds Spurs, I think will be a great game.
Yeah,
City Chelsea, it's Champions League final warm up.
yeah,
Um, then West Ham Everton be another good game. United Leicester
yeah.
another good game. Chelsea Arsenal. Then finish it all off with United. Like th- there'll be some high scores around. Like I think we'll see the highest average we've seen for quite a while. Um, I like in my mini league, the top score, like top game week scorer for the season, wins a small prize. And at the moment, I think the top game week score is about 147 or 149. Um, this week, someone could beat that potentially. Um, I know one person that's second in the mini league. He's using his bench boost this week. He could have a
Oh,
monster score.
guess. Oh, just on bench boost. So, a friend of mine who I would say is a casual FPL player, that I went out for a drink with last night. Um, he he used his bench boost just to rue the week just gone. And he told me, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" He goes to me, "Yeah, I used my bench boost, but I did all right." And I was like, "What do you mean you did all right?" And he was just like, "Well, like all the United players and that didn't play, but I had a couple of others that came in." And I was like, "Yeah, but with the United and the Liverpool players not playing, they would have come in anyway." And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it was bullshit then, wasn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like a proper casual player.
Has he still got his triple
Yeah. Anyway,
captain? Is he
no,
using his?
he's done it. He's
Oh,
used all his shits.
he's
Used
used
all
them
his
all.
shits.
Um, yeah, I think yeah, some great fixtures out there. There's plenty like going on both ends of the table. Um, but you can also see goals as well. Leicester v Newcastle. You can imagine there'll be some goals in that. Leeds Spurs. There'll be goals in that. There won't be goals in Sheffield United v Palace. It'll be like 1 or 2 nil Palace. City Chelsea. I mean, I can't see anything other than a comfortable City win. Liverpool Southampton should be a good game. There'll be goals, I think, for both teams. Um, Wolves Brighton, I think, will be a shit one. Villa v.
Just quickly, Bennett's asking who you captaining this week. I will personally be going Zaha or Greenwood.
I'm going Bruno. Yeah,
Glasto's asking how was Chapman for you, mate? I don't play Champman Glasso, but Rob, how was it for you?
I haven't checked, but I do do know that I did terribly. I captained Alan Shearer when I should have captained Omri. I'm just gonna have a quick look, but I think because I obviously update all the scores and I can work out what my score is um, before everyone else. But I got a measly 34, 34 points. Still outscored my game week 34 um, last week. But yeah, 34 points. Ian Hart with a 6 pointer left on the bench, like a fool. Um, yeah, not a good week, Clasto. Not a good week. But hey ho, I've still got 2 free hits and a triple captain and a bench boost to use, so plenty of
Nice.
plenty of time.
We
Um,
got anything else to talk about, and Rob? Or
um, Not really.
are there any other players that are playing a double game week that is worth looking at this week? Any players that you like, either that you have or you don't have that you really like the look of that you wish you could have, like
if
FOMO, I guess.
Yeah, if I was free hitting, I'd probably have you'd have Martinez in goal.
Just quickly, I've seen so many people on free hit, and I'm so fucking jealous.
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking wanker.
Um, I think Aubameyang. Um, like if I was on a free hit, I think he's worth a shout with his 2 fixtures. Um, yeah, Palace Eze. At Palace, if Zaha isn't fit, then Eze is another option. Everton, I've said DCL, but Richarlison and Sigurdsson, also a couple of good options. Leicester, I mean, we know about Iheanacho, Vardy, Maddison, as well, Castagna. Um, Liverpool, we know about. United, we've spoken about. I think the only team or teams that are doubling this week that I wouldn't actually fancy much from Chelsea and Southampton. Chelsea got the
A lot of
hardest
people are
combination.
wanking over bloody Ward Prowse, and I'm like, I don't see it.
It's because his XG it's minimal, but he's outperforming his XG because he's scored like 4 goals in the last 6, but 3 of them have been penalties. Um, so yeah, people are getting overexcited. Yeah, he's a good
Just a
good
couple of
player, but yeah,
just a couple of things in the chat. Bennett says Fez probably Greenwood or Zaha for him. Paolo says, "Where are you from, legends?" Oh, thank you for calling us legends, my friend. I am from Chesington, and Rob is from Horsham, so we are both from Surrey, basically. And we
Sussex.
live about. Are you Sussex or I'm
Yeah, I'm
Surrey? You're
Sussex.
Sussex.
Yeah,
We're about half an hour from each other, but we've never met in person.
no.
So yeah,
There's a
um,
beer. There'll be a beer happening soon.
yes,
Soon.
very soon. Glasso R says, "Sorry, I asked about Champman now, Rob."
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. Was there anyone else then from Free Hit that you like?
um, Mane, we touched on him when we did
Yeah,
the
I really
five
like
before.
Mane. I really like Mane.
Um, but yeah, and then like I think you could potentially have 10 double game weekers or slash triple game weekers, and I think still having either Kane or Son. I'd actually lean more towards Son. But the way I see it now with Spurs is Kane's role varies depending on whether Bale's on the pitch. I think if Bale's on the pitch, Bale and Son play higher up and less like and more central, and Kane drops in as like a false nine. Whilst with Bale not on the pitch, Son and Mora in most cases play a lot wider, and Kane pushes further forward as a traditional number 9. That's how I've seen it.
Mm.
Whether that's corroborated by other people's another thing. But I just don't. I mean, at the start of the week, I was looking at getting rid of Kane, but this is before the treble game week announcement. I was thinking of getting rid of Kane and bringing in DCL and who was the other person I was thinking of bringing in? DCL and Watkins for Kane and Vidra. But yeah, Watkins is another one. Yeah, he's got the slightly tougher two fixtures, but we've seen Everton are by far from impenetrable. And then they've got Palace next week, which you'd imagine he could get a return. But then, yeah, the 37 and 38 for him are not great.
Right. Before we wrap up, Rob, anything else you want to quickly talk about?
No, I think we start recording our Euros preview pods next week, don't we?
Is it next week or the week after?
I think
17th, isn't it? Hold
I
on, let
was.
me look at my diary.
I'm not sure, but it's soon.
It's fucking packed. It's
Um,
madness. Oh no, it is next week. Next Wednesday is the first pod that we're recording.
yeah, so we're recording them, and we will post the full timeline out. But the first Euro 2020 pod release will be on the 26th of May.
Yeah, so just for those that don't know what we're doing for the Euros, we're doing something pretty fucking mad, which is we thought of the idea of speaking to 24 representatives from each nation in the Euros, and we'll be talking to each of them for about 45 minutes to an hour about their nation, their hopes for the Euros, potential fantasy assets, under the radar picks, just basically everything about their nation. And we found 23 out of 24 so far,
Yeah,
so we are missing a Russian representative. If we don't find one, we'll probably do some research, or Rob, you will probably do some research on
no, we'll just skip
Russia.
it. we'll just skip it. Um,
And yeah, we plan to release. Is it 2 pods a day?
Yeah, so I'll do the quick run through. So the 26th of May will be North Macedonia and Hungary, 27th Slovakia and Finland, 28th will be Scotland, 29th will be Ukraine, 30th will be Czech Republic, 31st will be Austria and Sweden, 1st of June will be Turkey and Poland, 2nd of June Switzerland and Wales, 3rd Croatia, Denmark, 4th Holland, Italy, 5th will be Germany, the 6th will be Portugal, the 7th will be Spain and Belgium, and the 8th will be the two joint favourites at the moment with the English bookies, France and England. Yeah, it's great guests lined up for every single one of the pods, and I'm quite looking forward to the England one right at the end. So it'll be like a little celebration, and we'll have our good friend um, James from Planet FPL joining us again to tell us what he thinks of Gareth Southgate's squad and whether he thinks that Phil Foden will start.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah, that's going to be fun.
but yeah, I think
Right.
yeah, it's going to be it'll be it'll be slightly hectic for the next few weeks. I think with trying to do our normal FPL pods as well, but I think there'll be some great content there. If at any point during the Euros you would be interested in jumping on a live stream, because I think throughout the tournament we'll be doing lots of live streams rather than pods because it's so quickly evolving as a tournament as we know. We'll probably have guests on most live streams just to get some other views and opinions in. So yeah, just drop us a DM at any point if you fancy it, and if we are looking for someone, we can see if we can fit you in.
Nice. All right. Well, if there's nothing else from you, Rob, have a fantastic game week, everyone. And yeah, enjoy the triple game week. And may your arrows be green. Good
Cheers,
night.
guys. Night.